to the Earth Mother Show with Catherine Allen. Hello and welcome to the Earth Mother Show. I'm Catherine Allen and I'm a clairvoyant, medium, astrologer, and energy healer. I've been working with people for around 25 years to help them dig in and understand their lives better, understand their soul, understand their path. And yes, I've done a lot of predictive work with telling people what I foresee and what I sense. But I've also done a lot of healing and a lot of coaching. And because I do so much of the other in my other venues of life, I wanted to create this show that is strictly on the healing side of things. So I'm going to be covering a wide variety of topics from a healing perspective. And my goal is to bring you into my safe little space here so that you can have the feeling of a cocooned, calm, safe little space where you can get in touch with the side of yourself, where you can cry if you need to, where you can suddenly have an insight or a reflection that you might not have because the tone, the pace of how I'm going to present this isn't high energy, isn't in the yang or masculine vibe of coming at you with, you just got to do this, there's 10 steps. And I'm not that at all. We're going into the divine feminine energy in this show. And as you can see, I'm coming to you from my little back porch and the community garden behind me. You can sort of see all my little plants. It's a little space about 6 feet by 6 feet. And I love it out here. It's a little sanctuary. All my friends like to hang out with me here. And you might see a cat go by once in a while. I've got 2 of them. And I'm going to do my best to come to you for this show in this little space all the time. It might be shot a little different, but just to welcome you into my little home here. Little sanctuary. And you can probably hear lots of birds. The really loud ones are the blackbirds. They tend to mate right over here in these cedar trees, but surrounded by lots of birds, and I love it. So first thing to cover is, what is an Earth Mother? You might be one. I know that I am one. An Earth Mother is not bound by age. It's not bound by gender. An Earth Mother is somebody who holds the awareness of Mother Nature, consciousness for the planet, and caring for the planet, caring for the animals, the plants. It's somebody who is very present and grounded, and that means that they're usually people who've got their lives together pretty strong on some level. They're able to be there when you need them. They're good listeners. They're nurturing, they're thoughtful. They're not the people that cut you off when you talk and give you, 20 things to do of advice. They're not anxious all the time. They're not saying, oh yeah, that happened to you because me, like it's the same as me, and they turn it back on themselves. An Earth Mother is someone who sort of like, somebody approaches you and you can already sense from far away, like, okay, something's going on with this person, and they just sort of go, no. And they just sort of feel what's going on with the person, and they're like, okay, this person needs to talk. And so they just sort of, get comfortable and say, okay, so what's going on with you? Are you okay? And then they'll listen, and they're actually really listening to what's going on, and they've got wisdom to share, and when they do speak, they might have something to tell you that's quite profound. A couple times in my life, people have said to me, when I was off kilter, here and there, twice people have said to me, let your life fall apart. It'll be good for you. And at the time I was like, oh my God, no, that sounds horrible. What are you talking about? And those words never left me, right? I'm telling you now. That's an Earth Mother. They have presence, they have wisdom, and they have impact. And they're listening and they want to help you. And wanting to help you doesn't mean making it easy like a band-aid. It's giving real advice, really applicable advice about life, and sometimes you're going to have to hear something hard. But isn't that what we were all craving from our mother? If you have or you had a great relationship with your mother, and she gave you that, you're very blessed. And if you didn't, then you're probably looking for that. And that's a lot of who comes to energy workers and healers and readers. So I want to create this nice safe space where we can talk about stuff that might help you heal, and I can play that role on some level. And as a good mother does, she sets some boundaries. So I'm going to just set a couple of boundaries about the way I'm going to run this little show. I'm going to bring up topics, and I'm going to be speaking from very often what would probably be called a feminist point of view. To me, it's not a feminism or aggressive stance. I'm going to do my best to hold that divine feminine energy and express a point of view that embodies that we don't hear that often or enough. And so I'm fully expecting some pushback. I'm fully expecting lots of comments. And I know that there'll be a lot of people that are inspired by it, and there'll be a lot of people that are triggered by it. And to me, that's just all part of healing. It's normal. So my ground rules for this group are this. First, I'm not coming to you live, so I'm not seeing your comments as I'm talking. So I will be bringing up your comments and responding to questions in the next show. So that's already one boundary that's going to save a lot of stress in case there's somebody reactive in the YouTube chat room as I'm speaking. That's going to totally take away the grounded, nurturing energy I'm trying to present, to multitask that. But I do want to honor people's questions and things you'd like to hear back about. So I'll be getting back to you in the following videos. The second boundary is respect. I'm going to insist on respect in the comments. So respect doesn't mean you can't say certain stuff. But there's limits to how things are. There's positive ways of challenging people's ideas, and there's just outright abusive ways of reacting and trying to provoke things. So, swearing and name calling, I'm going to delete that right off the bat. If somebody is genuinely distressed about a concept or something I've said, and I can tell that they're struggling with it and maybe they haven't phrased things in the best way, I'm going to chat with them about it and maybe talk about it in the next show. But if there's continued pushing of boundaries or picking on people, I'm going to just delete you. Yeah. Somebody's got to be out there protecting space for the ones of us who do feel ready to be vulnerable and heal. And as a last thing for this first show, I will say that I really want to bring forth a sense that you have space to reflect and space to feel. Which means the pace of how I do the topics is not going to feel like a big shiny video. Yeah, some people might tune out, find this totally slow, boring, and they're not ready. You're not ready yet. That's fine. Hopefully you'll come back to us later. But there is a reality to, let's put it this way, thoughts have a certain vibration and it's a higher vibration. And so when people are very cerebral, or it's all just a mental thing, it's like, yeah, and then, and she said it, you know, and it'll all go super fast, and we're all trying to absorb like a mile a minute all these ideas, but we're not really processing anything. We're taking in information and bouncing it off, and it's very high and exciting. But we're not really absorbing, we're not processing anything. It's not really making it real to us yet. So I'm not going to be going into that cerebral mode. I want to stay in more an emotional zone, which means I'm going to be speaking like this, like a therapist. Calmly, a little slower. There's some pauses. There's pauses to reflect. And you might see me pausing to reflect on what I'm saying as I'm saying it. And hopefully you'll just stay with me and also pause and reflect. And I just find we desperately need these spaces in our society. We're more and more online and connected, but we're farther and farther away from true community spaces. It seems like it takes more and more effort for people to find a spot where they can feel they belong, they're included, people are listening, people are paying attention to their lives. And so I'm going to attempt to start something like that here. I hope you're going to follow us. I'm going to be on every week at this time. So please bookmark us, bookmark me, and please comment if there are things that you would like to talk about. And, you know, I'm open to constructive feedback. And I want to make this show really great. And I welcome you, and I welcome all the Earth Mothers and Earth Angels out there who are always helping people and always ready and on standby and giving so much of your emotional life force to help people. And I respect all of your work. And I'm going to leave it off there. So I hope you join me next week. We're going to have some sort of thought-provoking, intriguing theme. Welcome to the Earth Mother Show. Have a wonderful day.